Hello and welcome to my Essential Oil 101 class. My name is Lindsay McClellan and I am a leader with Young Living Essential Oils. I want to start the evening out by sharing with you a little bit about my story. This is my son, John David, and ever since he was about 18 months old, he had different health issues. And majority of his health issues revolved around his lungs. He always had a hard time breathing with different kind of situations. It didn't matter if it was he was sick, when he would have cold weather, if there was pollen outside. It really didn't matter. It seemed like his weak area in his body was his lungs. So anytime something was going wrong, it always settled in his lungs. And so we struggled for many, many years with trying to figure out what was causing his issues. But the doctors, the doctors that we were dealing with, they weren't really concerned about fixing or finding his issue as more just treating the symptoms. And so you can see a little bit here in these two pictures the medications that we were on. And we were on over-the-counter medicines, prescription medicines, and it just got to be overwhelming. So by the time he was 6 years old, I just knew we needed to find a better way. And so we went to see a naturopathic doctor, and he did this. It's called an IgG food sensitivity test. And when we got the results back from the test, you can see anything that's in the orange or the dark orange, those are all things that he had sensitivities to. So his issue was pretty much related to food. Anything dairy was out of the question. He couldn't have pineapples. He couldn't have corn or gliadin or oats or wheat or the gluten part of the wheat. They separated them out. He couldn't have eggs. Couldn't have peanuts, and he couldn't have a lot of other nuts because he was borderline with those. But other random things, as you can see on this list, were causing him issues. And so the way the doctor explained it to us was that anytime your body is fighting something, it causes inflammation. And so for him, because his lungs were his weak area, he always was seeming to have issues with his lungs. So the doctor told us that we needed to go on an elimination diet, and he gave us all these supplements. And you can see John David was just really not excited about that quercetin and nettle powder that you see in the corner. It had a really ugly color to it, and it tasted really bad. And I would try to make it better by putting it in smoothies and hiding it in things, but it really wasn't good. And so we ended up getting capsules for the poor child. But while I was at his office, I was talking to him about essential oils, and he gave me the reference guide that you see there, the Integrative Medical Guide to Essential Oils, and it was written by Gary Young. So I was really impressed, and I ended up buying my premium starter kit from Young Living because I was looking, if the doctor that we were seeing was recommending that company and had the book written by the owner of the company, then I figured it must be a good place to start. So as you can see, John David started getting better. He was enjoying his smoothies because he was no longer eating that nasty quercetin and nettles. He just took it in a capsule. But part of the issues that he was having with gluten, we didn't realize that there was gluten in so many different products. So you have gluten in hair care, skin care, all kinds of stuff. And so we had to learn how to make a lot of our own stuff because I didn't know that gluten was in those and it could also be affecting him. And so we went on a really, really strict elimination diet. And that resulted in huge benefits for him. And so we used our oils to support his lungs since we knew that was his weak area. And we fixed all of his issues with a lot of prayer and a significant dietary change. However, when he was at school, he would be getting teased about his dietary changes because he wasn't eating the same kind of food that all the other kids were eating. And so he would beg me every single day, please, Mama, please, please homeschool me, because he didn't want to be bullied every day. And so I was a teacher. I still am a teacher, I guess, but I was a teacher for 7 years at our high school in our county. and I loved my job. And so it was a really hard decision for me to quit that job and homeschool my kids. But I knew that for me, financially, it wasn't possible for my husband and I to go from two incomes to one income. And so I was praying a lot for about 40 days. God, what do you want me to do? How am I going to do this? How am I going to homeschool him and still be able to pay our bills? And the answer to prayer came about 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And the Lord just sat me straight up in bed and said, Lindsay, it is time to share Young Living. And so that's what I did. I argued with him for a little bit, but then I got on board, and I absolutely love teaching people what I've learned because it's changed my family in so many ways. And I've met incredible people along this journey that cheer me on and just teach me new kinds of things. And it's just been such a blessing. And so I'm really, really thankful for what this company has done for my family. And I'm very excited to share with you tonight some of the ways that it can help your family.